Hi, welcome to this new video. It's been a long time since I last updated this channel, and today I wanted to come back with some photographic content to add to my series of just documenting my photography journey and give some film tips and general ideas and inputs on the topic. So last video that I leave up here was a booktube newbie tag, so I wanted to introduce this place as a safe place where to express ideas and thoughts. So I'm gonna leave it up there if you wanted to check it out. You'll have the chance after this video. Today the topic was photography. So in the last couple of months I've been shooting on film, and it's been very special because in a way it brings you back to being handy, using vintage and old mechanisms and processes to make art and tell stories. I talk about stories, telling stories and storytelling a lot because it's a subject that is really rooted in me. And last time I was stressing the importance of telling stories about communities. Photography in general is a drive, a passion of mine. It's always been inspired, or this light has been always sparked by some some environmental reason or cause. This time's motive was a lectio by A.Jaar, a multidisciplinary artist. I vlogged the whole thing and you can find it in the description. Very welcoming, so definitely worth it. And the talk was about the role of images and creativity in general and storytelling. It was hosted by New Yorker artist A.Jaar.
This intervention tries to inform the society of the daily situation of homeless people. A red flashlight will illuminate the cupula every time that someone like you will push this button. We want to be witnesses.
With these words, he was presenting Lumière dans la ville, his Montreal project, consisting of a system of red flash lights turning on each time a homeless person in Montreal joined a specific shelter. And in general, the blue cupola looming up in the dark symbolizes giving visibility, bringing social awareness to the issue. This time, the inspiration behind this series, this black and white photo series that I'm going to present to you. So as I said, feel free to leave any comments if any of the topics resonate with you, but as this video that I'm gonna leave right after this about Noor Tagouri, a small vlog that I filmed, and recommendation about audiobooks and books in general that I do on my TikTok account that I deeply suggest you to follow to just stay in touch and stay updated with me. New Friday vlog. Today I was getting ready to go to the mosque, and let's talk about creative writing and the process of giving back to the community meanwhile. First, Eid Mubarak to all the Muslims who have celebrated. After I got dressed and put on some mood, I got into the car and played this episode on mindset building, a process of affirming with language and adopting the athlete's mindset through action. As Akin Akman explains, the importance of showing up consistently and working on it daily to perfect your skills and crafts, which consists of the struggle to put yourself in a position of discomfort and being able to be seen physically while putting in with the mental conditioning of aligning your thoughts with the end goal. I was about to trip. Anyway, I sat down for a bit after grabbing a mandarin, and I really enjoyed this Friday salad, after which I had a lovely chat with the mosque housekeeper, and I will leave you with a second video interview suggestion from the process of telling stories for your community with Minhal Baig, a wonderful filmmaker and copywriter behind BoJack the Horseman and director of Hela, a film. And here are some quick thoughts I gathered about the podcast. On my way back, sunny, my heart is filled of joy, and this is the effect of the Friday Jumu'ah prayer, of course. And on my way here, I was thinking about the process of writing and telling stories about your people. By this I mean, it was actually talked about in the process a podcast of Noor Tagouri, my favorite journalist ever, Libyan journalist actually, and it just inspired me a lot to keep up my photojournalistic series and telling stories about my people. There is also I was saying that representing cultures or representing a community in general is very important and key. For example, he was talking from the point of view of an artist, so creating communities of artists, and sincerely, everyone who has some sort of platform and exposure is very important to bring awareness on certain topics or talk about, for example, relevant facts happening around us in the world. So this series in black and white that I shot on this Hanimex, this really simple point and shoot film camera on a roll that was from my group, from my little community of photographers of a photography club, in a sense. And the theme that I chose was talking about my people. Basically, I'm Moroccan, I'm native North African, I'm A.Jaar, as we are called, and I wanted just to tell stories about me as a part of diaspora culture, so people that immigrated, so migrants, as my parents are. So being a diaspora kid, child of both Berber immigrants in Europe, so in Italy, and represent this in my photographic journey, in my photographic series, sorry. So I started the shooting moment outside of the suburbs of Milan. So it was very key to me looking for the right spot where to start. A.Jaar, as I mentioned in his Lectio Magistralis, his lesson where he was teaching and talking about his projects, was working around the suburbs of Montreal with his Lumière dans la Ville project, and it was really, really inspiring in a sense because he wanted to tell dynamics of society about migration, displacement, and other social struggles, social issues, for example. He covered also the Rwanda genocide in a lot of photographic work of his that is really, really inspiring, and I'm gonna invite you to join my Discord if you want to have the files and check it out yourself. It's visual, and he's a multidisciplinary artist, so he works with words, with text and images, so it's really very, very direct way to bring awareness around certain topics, but he does it without capitalizing on pain of people and just whacking these images on newspaper covers or doing shallow art or any other media reports. So this is the camera that I used. As I said, I have the box left because it's really my first tool of expression in terms of photography, but yeah, this was really my first chance to follow the footsteps of important artists and try to do in my little, like, the scale is very little, but in my, do what I can in expanding the awareness and knowledge about this. My point here being that this is just my small attempt in my little world to just talk about things that are around us, society, and other humanitarian social fights, issues, struggles, from gentrification, as I said and cited before with his Montreal project, to decolonization and migration, displacement, any other social, political problem. This comes the part of my creation that you're going to see here. and some quick videos that I filmed around just to test my camera, this camera, this Handmax that I showed you before. And here comes the crazy part about this, which was from that moment of the lesson. Basically, he was talking about his experience in Canada and not voluntarily not wanting to show homeless people, because he decided intentionally not to include them in any of his projects, interviews or animation, to not overexpose their pain, basically. And this happens a lot in these dynamics, when you want to do good and your intentions are good, but this overexposition ends up doing more harm and bad to the community. Please keep that in mind when you do any of your shoots or you write an article. And honestly, this man, this multidisciplinary architect and filmmaker, artist, literally inspired me a lot in my work, both on my magazine and in my photography. Finish off my story time with this experience of me basically unwinding my roll of film, ready to send it to my lab, as you can see. Yeah, so finishing off, in the end I ended up losing all my footage because some light got inside of my camera while I was rewinding the film. And this was just a sign, definitely a sign, not a coincidence, because hearing him from this lectio, this frontal lesson, telling about the risks of overexposing, public and strangers, and this is obviously normal when you do street photography. And I was basically shook, I'm not gonna lie, in the moment. In fact, this was my reaction in front of you on screen when I discovered that I lost all my film and it was all burned. So the photo lab got back to me with little to no frames and pictures. And I also have this special connection that remained with this artist, because the day after I was in this library and I found a random magazine with all of his works in architecture. As you may know, he's also an architect, so he had all these works of art, beautiful, and it was just sitting there in front of a coffee shop vending machine. So this was the story of today. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna leave you now with, I hope you will subscribe and enjoy.